In the 2020 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings and Buffalo Bills initiated a trade that would later be considered one of the best mutual deals ever done. In the trade, the Minnesota Vikings traded star wide receiver Stefon Diggs and a 2020 7th-round pick in exchange for the Buffalo Bills' 2020 first-round pick, the number 22 overall, a 2020 5th-round pick, a 2020 6th-round pick, and a 2021 4th-round pick. Hey guys, welcome back to the 4th and Inches podcast. Today we're going to be dissecting the blockbuster trade between the Minnesota Vikings and Buffalo Bills in 2020, which sent arguably two of the best wide receivers in the NFL now to their respected franchises, each being set up with their franchise wide receivers for the next 5 to 6 years.
And without further ado, let's roll the intro.
So let's just talk about it. Who do we think won this trade?
I think the Vikings definitely won this trade just because of what Justin Jefferson has produced in the 2 years compared to Diggs in his 2 years. Since Justin Jefferson has been drafted, he's caught for 3,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, while Diggs, since he was traded, has caught for 2,700 yards and 18 touchdowns, but they've played the same amount of games, so I feel like Jefferson has easily the better stat line.
Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing all over the place on Instagram that, Justin Jefferson in his first 2 years has the most receiving yards out of any wide receiver in the NFL for these past 2 years. So just the fact that he's so young and he's already putting up stats like he's a seasoned veteran just shows that he has so much left to produce. While Stefon Diggs, while he's a very good receiver, is 26 or 27 now?
He's 28.
28.
Yeah, so clearly he only has, let's just say, 4 good years left, when Justin Jefferson has the potential to have another, let's just say, 8 to 9 years.
Yeah.
Good years.
Well, for me, I feel like overall right now, the Bills are winning this trade because of the position that they're at. But I think in the long run, the Vikings will win this trade.
I feel like they already have.
More of the potential.
Well, I see what Julian's saying, because, the Bills were able to transform. With Stefon Diggs, they turned Josh Allen from a mediocre, inaccurate quarterback to now one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, who's often seen as a MVP frontrunner at the start of almost every season now.
Yeah.
And then they also turned the Bills into a Super Bowl contender, a good team. Just
exactly. Yep.
Something that the Vikings can have, yes, if it wasn't for bad management.
Yeah, I mean the Vikings have Kirk Cousins, and clearly that's
Kirk Cousins as your QB. I don't know.
Kirk Cousins threw 3,000 yards and 17 touchdowns to Justin Jefferson.
What's his career record?
QB. Still an average QB.
What's his career record?
He's not the QB that's gonna get you to the Super Bowl. Diggs literally completely transformed their franchise, turned Josh Allen into one hell of a quarterback.
Yeah,
I would have to agree with that. I mean, we could definitely state that Stefon Diggs has had a larger impact on his team when it comes to playoff success. But I think in the long run, especially if the Vikings decide to replace Kirk Cousins, I think and extend Jefferson, I think Jefferson will have a larger impact on whatever team he's on.
Now, although Stefon Diggs and Justin Jefferson were the main factors of this trade, there still were 2 other players that I'd like to talk about in Cameron Bynum and Dane Jackson. So first off, let's take a look at Cameron Bynum's stats. So, in the 2021 season, he racked up 18 tackles, an interception, while having 19 targets and allowing 5 receptions. He had a decent season. Caden, you're a Vikings fan, so you know a lot more about him than I do, so tell us something about him.
I really like him, and I'm really high on him this upcoming season to have a big part in our defense.
So is he more of a backup right now?
right now he's like kind of hovering, especially with Lewis Sign getting drafted. Because Cam Bynum's also a safety as well, so they're gonna have a little bit of a fight for that second spot. But I think eventually he'll be a really good player, and I really like him right now, especially when Harrison Smith wasn't playing last season. I think it was due to COVID or something.
All right, now let's look at Dane Jackson, cornerback for the Buffalo Bills. He had 31 tackles, 0 interceptions, while having 34 targets and 19 receptions allowed. So PFF doesn't like him as much as they like Cameron Bynum. They do play different positions, but they gave him a 58.5 PFF grade, while Cameron Bynum had a 78.3 PFF grade.
I don't really know too much about him, but based on just PFF, you would have to say that he's your average 7th round pick.
Sorry, what was his Dane Jackson's PFF grade?
58.5.
58.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trayvon Diggs had a 59.6. So, jeez.
Wow. All right, so after looking at everything, looking at all the players, their stats, we've been saying it throughout the video, but let's just go around. Who won this trade? Let's start off with Caden.
Right now, probably Buffalo. The Vikings could easily change that this season if Kevin O'Connell actually leads them somewhere, but right now it's still the Bills. In the future, Vikings.
All right, T. Josby?
Yeah, I would have to agree with that sentiment. For the present times, since the Buffalo Bills are more successful because of Diggs, I would say that they're winning right now. But when it comes to long term, I feel like the Vikings have won. But I think overall, even short term, long term, I'd say the Vikings won.
All right, Julian?
Short term, I think the Bills are winning. But then long term, Vikings, yeah, they're winning.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I think just what Stefon Diggs has offered to the Bills, propelling them into pretty much playoff locks every single season. I just think the Bills right now, they won, but with Jefferson just being the younger player, having so much talent already at such a young age, I think the Vikings are going to win this trade in the future. All right, so that was our dissection of the Minnesota Vikings and Buffalo Bills trade. We had a 4-0 vote that the Vikings are going to long-term win this trade. We're looking to turn this into a series, going back, looking at big blockbuster trades, seeing which team came out on top. Leave a like, subscribe, comment if you want to see more videos like this, and peace.